Hello everybody, welcome to my YouTube channel Best IT Solution, and today our topic is Spring MVC Architecture. So what is the importance of this Spring MVC architecture? We'll discuss. Okay. So what is Spring MVC? So MVC stands for Model View Controller. Okay, so we will discuss one by one what is model, what is view, and what is controller. It is a design pattern that separates the business logic, presentation logic, and data. So it is a design pattern. So MVC is a design pattern. So which separates the business logic, presentation logic, and the data. So every concept, not only the Spring framework, other like Start framework also there is MVC architecture. So in every language technologies there are MVC architecture. So MVC means model view controller. Okay. So first, what is controller? So controller acts as an interface between view and model. Okay. So it is an interface, act as an interface between the view layer and the model. Model means data. So okay. So controller intercepts all the incoming requests. So controller first intercepts all the incoming requests. That means whatever requests coming from the user, it will uh, first hits to the controller layer. First goes to the controller layer. Okay, and then the model. What is model? Model represents the state of the application. So model is the represents the state. What is the state of the application? That is data. Also we can call model as data. It can also have business logic. So model also have the business logic also. Then view. What is view? So view is the representation logic. So it represents the presentation, that is UI or user interface. So whatever the pages or the user views from the front end thing or from the user perspective, it is called as view. So it represents the presentation layer. Okay, or user interface. So user only interact with this interface only, and the controller and model, these are the backend things. Only the front end things is that view. Users can view these views only. Okay, so these are the model, view, and controller. So controller acts as an interface between the model and view. Okay, so this is the architecture diagram of Spring. Okay, so here you can see first request come to the dispatcher servlet. So in Spring MVC framework, the dispatcher servlet, which is also called as the front end controller, is the main controller in the Spring MVC architecture. Okay, so then the user request from the dispatcher servlet, it is goes to the URL handler mapping. You can say that to request goes to the URL handler mapping. From the URL handler mapping, it goes to the particular controller which is responsible to handle this request, and the controller process the request. Then it returns a model and view. It returns the model and view, that is model and data with the and the view name to the dispatcher servlet. Again, the dispatcher servlet with the help of view resolvers find the exact view name. Okay, so view resolver is the view resolver is the it is also an interface, and the default there are many type of resolvers. View resolvers are there. So in Spring, the view resolver is internal research view resolver. Okay, so the internal research, with the help of this internal research view resolver, it resolves the view and that view name, and that again that the from the view name it found the particular view, and it again sends back to the client with the view and the data. Okay, so this is the Spring MVC architecture. This is also an flow diagram. You can say that this is the front controller or the packet servlet. It in all the incoming request fast goes to this front controller or intercept this front controller. Then it, from the front controller, it delegates the request to the controller, the particular controller which is responsible to handle this request. And from that controller, it process the request, execute the request, and then delegate rendering of response with the response that is in the model, and model means data, and the view sends to the front controller, and front controller sends the model to the view template, render view template to the controller. Okay, again. and from that controller the response is goes to the end user. Okay, so this is the flow diagram of the Spring MVC architecture. So this is the description we described like MVC architecture description. Okay, so in this model, that means in this MVC architecture, when client sends a request, the request goes to web.xml file. It is also called as deployment descriptor. Okay, so first thing is when request comes from the client or any user, it first goes to the request goes to the web.xml file. That web.xml file also called as the deployment descriptor. Okay, because in that file all the configurations are mentioned there, that now the request goes to which controller. Okay, so this is we can also call as metadata. We are supplying the metadata through this web.xml file to our application. Okay, then web.xml file sends the request to dispatcher servlet, which is called as the front controller. So in web.xml file we are configuring in such a way that it delegates the request to the dispatcher servlet. It's also called as the front end controller. Okay, so from this first request comes to the deployment descriptor, the web.xml file. From that web.xml file, it comes to the deployment descriptor, or from that web.xml file, it comes to the front controller. This front controller, it is a general servlet, you can say. It is a class. In Java, it is a class only, servlet. Dispatcher servlet is a class. Okay. Then now the dispatcher servlet decides that the request which is coming from the user, it is for which controller this request means. That is for login controller, or for logout controller, or for add controller. Suppose there are many controllers are there. So the front controller or dispatcher servlet decides that the request is for which controller. Okay, and according to that, that request is delegates to that particular controller. Okay, so now the request is sent to that particular controller and executed by that controller only. Okay, so after deciding that the request is sent to that particular controller and it executed by that controller, then after complete processing the request, after complete processing the request by that particular controller, sends the response back to dispatcher servlet. Okay, so it again sends the response back to that dispatcher servlet. Since the dispatcher servlet sends the request to that controller, so it is the responsibility of controller to send back the response again to the dispatcher servlet. Okay, the response contains the data as well as the page. So both the response, the response which is coming from the controller to the dispatcher servlet, it contains both the data, that is the model, as well as the view. Okay, it also contains the view. View means any JSP or timely page. So okay, so this is HTML page or timely page or any JSP page. This is the view. So after processing the request by that particular controller, it delegates the response to the dispatcher servlet or front controller, and this response contains the data, that is the model, as well as the view name or view. Then the dispatcher servlet find the particular page. Okay, so the dispatcher servlet find the particular page with the help of view resolver. So whatever the view comes from the controller, that the response contains the view name. So from that response, it find the particular view or page with the help of the view resolver. So by default in Spring provided the view resolver is internal reserve view resolver. There are many types of view resolvers are there. So the default view resolver provided by the Spring is internal reserve view resolver. It is also, you can call it as a interface. Okay. Technically you can say it is an interface. So we need to configure this internal research view resolver, or we need to get the bean or object of this internal research view resolver in our application. Okay, and sends to the client back that page with the data. Okay, so then the dispatcher servlet find the particular view or page with the help of view resolver and sends to the client back that page with data. Okay, so after finding the particular page, it again sends back to the user or client. So with the with that view name, with that view, and the data also with that view. Okay, so this is the all about the Spring MVC architecture. Okay, guys. So if you have any question or doubt, you can uh, message me in comment section. And if you want to motivate me, so please like and share the video and subscribe the channel, by which I can make more and more video regarding this topic. Okay. So thank you guys.